Corey. I'm excited to learn about winter skincare today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, everybody that is live with us right now. It's holiday season. It's a crazy time of the year. It's the end of the year. This is our last class of the year, and you're in for a treat. We're going to be talking about building a winter regimen, utilizing what you have already in your wardrobe of skincare to really amplify and maintain hydration. So we're gonna dive through a lot. So let me go ahead and pull up my presentation here for all of us, and we can get started. Thank you for making time out of your day. I know, again, it's the busiest time of the year. We've got a lot going on. My head is barely on straight, but I'm so excited for the holidays and to eat all the yummy food and see all my friends and family. So thank you again for being here with us and celebrating the last class of the year. I can't believe it. Again, as Christy said, we have SkinCeuticals estheticians and educators in the chat ready to answer any questions that you have about your specific skincare routine. I know layering is a huge question that we get all the time. I saw a lot of those questions that you all inputted when you signed up for the class. So if you have specific questions that I don't cover, but hopefully I'll cover everything by the time we run through the presentation, please feel free to use the widget and ask a question that's personal to you. And then again, as Chrissy said, at the end, we're going to have about 15 minutes where we can chit chat together and answer any specific questions that you have about anything at all, SkinCeuticals, skin-wise. Happy to help and here to help again, demystify and make it really easy to understand, right? Because it's fun at the end of the day. So today we're talking about building a winter regimen. This masterclass is going to really unveil essential products and routines to build your ultimate winter skincare wardrobe, as I like to call it, really designed to combat dryness, to maintain hydration, to really give you that beautiful glow complexion, right? We know that winter can wreak havoc on our skin. It really is not a fun time for our skin. We feel it, we see it, we want that radiance and that glow back. So we're really going to help you figure out what SkinCeuticals products in general are great to help maybe combat some of these winter skin woes, and maybe what you already have in your wardrobe with specific ingredients to really help, again, amplify and support your skin throughout this winter season, right? All about supporting and creating that customized regimen for you and making it easy, right? Okay, so let's get started. So before we dive in, I just want to give you all a recap on what is happening to our skin during the winter. So let's decode that seasonal shift. We all kind of have a general idea of what's happening. Temperatures are dropping. We're really experiencing low humidity. Depending on where you are in the world, this temperature and the seasonal changes are going to be different. I'm in the desert in Southern California, so it's not that cold. However, I'm indoors more often. The temperature inside is warmer, right? I'm getting that heater air, low humidity inside. So it's really sucking all the hydration out of my skin. If you live somewhere where it snows, I don't have to tell you, you already know that chapped skin, that flaky skin, that red skin, that irritated skin, right? And so this is all affecting the way that our skin behaves, the way that our skin acts, and really stripping the skin of its natural moisturizing oils. Our skin has natural oils that it produces that moisturizes our skin, right? And oils are different than water. So when we hydrate, it's different than moisturizing, but we do need both, especially during this time of year. Now, you see here on the screen, we have the cold temperatures, we have the harsh winds, we have the low humidity, but that's not all. We're also going through maybe some other changes, right? Different changes in our diet, indulging a little bit more, stressing a little bit more, not sleeping that well. Sometimes, I mean, I don't know about you, my anxiety is like heightened around this time of year. Did I get everything? What am I making? What am I bringing? All of those things, right? And all of that can affect our skin as well. Stress really shows up and impacts our skin. Now, in the center of all of these things, we see the weakened skin barrier. So all of these factors affect our skin barrier. And if you're on this call, if you're a skincare enthusiast, you know what your skin barrier does, right? It's like your protective shield that locks all the good stuff in and it keeps all the bad stuff out. So if you think of it like a brick and mortar wall, it really is that sealant that helps to lock hydration and prevent it from evaporating and losing it. But it also protects you from external aggressors and allergens and pollutants and all of that, right? So that brick and mortar wall, that barrier is so important. It's really made up of skin cells, ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. This holds everything together, holds those skin cells together. And when it's functioning optimally, the skin's barrier creates that tight seal that, again, locks in the moisture, prevents it from evaporating, and then keeps all the bad stuff out. So all of these factors are affecting and weakening that skin barrier. That tight seal now has holes and cracks in it. Our water, our moisture is evaporating. We're really losing all of that hydration, and then external aggressors and allergens are making their way in. That can really give us that uncomfortable feeling and look to our skin. So how do we know that our skin is going through these changes? Well, it's not hard to figure out. There are a few signs that our skin is going through these winter skin woes and that our skin barrier is super compromised, and we need to really address it quickly to prevent any further damage or even long-lasting damage, right? So we really want to get ahead of it. So the skin can experience a variety of side effects due to all of these environmental changes in the skin. Number one, dryness and flakiness, of course. I don't know about you, but I get really flaky around my nose. I get really flaky around my eyes, where the skin tends to be thinner. Also my lips, my hands. Oh my gosh, it's like impossible to moisturize my hands enough. All of these areas are just pain points during the winter season. Now, we also can experience rough texture, right? That buildup of flaky skin. We're not exfoliating maybe as frequently. So we're starting to see our skin build up in a rougher texture. Makeup may not be laying on as nicely as it did maybe in the spring or the summer, right? We really lost that dewy look. Redness and irritation. This is a big one. Now, when our skin barrier is compromised and weakened and that tight seal starts to open up and we get those cracks, we're starting to see sensitivities, irritation, inflammation, visible redness, itchiness, really uncomfortable, sometimes maybe even painful cracks can develop. And this is especially true for around the lips and the hands, right? So we start to see those cracks show up there. And I really want to help you guys figure out how to layer enough hydration, especially on those sensitive areas, to combat some of that. And we'll get into that a little bit later. This is not just about the face, right? It's all over. Even scalps. Scalps can get really, really dry and flaky. We might experience dandruff when we've never experienced it before. So it's more than just the skin on your face. The skin really, if you think about it, it's all over your body, right? From your head to your toe. So we really got to treat it as that one essential organ. And then, of course, chapped lips, which we talked about. The curse of the chapped lips and that dull, lackluster complexion that's happening from all of the above factors that we're starting to see kind of compounded together, leading to, again, the fine lines and the wrinkles appearing more pronounced. It's not that you've developed more or deeper fine lines and wrinkles. It's just they're more pronounced. It's almost like, think about sand at the beach and sand at the desert, or the soil of a plant when you haven't watered it for a while versus when it's really nicely hydrated and taken care of. The one key factor there is water, that moisture factor that's really giving that visible difference in how that looks and how that feels, right? So we really, really need to focus on supplementing hydration and focusing on amplifying hydration, not only applying it, but how do we hold on to it and prevent that transepidermal water loss, which we'll talk about a little bit later, which is basically your water evaporating from the skin. So no matter how much you're applying layer after layer, you're like, I can't get moisturized. And there's a reason for that. So we'll go ahead and teach you how to layer and then seal and lock all of that in to really help support that skin barrier and restore it. Now, there are a few ingredients before we get into actual SkinCeuticals products and every step in your routine. There are a few ingredients. If you have a pen, if you have a paper, if you have your phone, maybe just jot this down, that you want to look for in your current wardrobe. And you can find these on the ingredient list of the product or look it up online and look at the key ingredients. If it's a SkinCeuticals product, we're super happy to, we're going to give you recommendations. If it's not, that's okay. But look for these ingredients and make sure that you're including them. Number one is going to be humectant. humectants. So you've heard this word before. Humectants are ingredients that help attract moisture to the skin and bind it to the skin. These are going to include ingredients like hyaluronic acid and glycerin. Very, very important to incorporate into your skincare routine during the wintertime. Next is going to be emollients. Emollients, the role of emollients is to replenish those natural oils that we lose in the wintertime, that dry skin lacks. Dry skin is lacking oils, dehydrated skin is lacking water. So the humectants will address dehydration, the emollients will address dryness. So these oils can be derived from usually like plant-based sources, different types of seeds, sunflower seed oil, maybe grapeseed, jojoba, things like that. Emollients, even like ceramides, things like that, to really help fill in the gaps of that cracked skin barrier and act almost like a faux barrier, and give you that protection and seal everything in. And then lastly, this is one that a lot of people don't think about, but occlusives. So sometimes the skin barrier is so damaged and so weakened and so compromised that we need almost like a fake barrier, a little Band-Aid, if you will. And this is where occlusives come into play. Now, occlusives are more of those thicker balms, almost like your aquaphors, your petrolatums, your mineral oils, things like that, that actually create a physical barrier on the surface of the skin. This is a lifesaver for chapped lips, for chapped hands, cracked hands, feet. You want to look for these occlusive types of ingredients to act like a fake skin barrier and then seal everything in underneath. Because if you think about it, your skin barrier is already weakened. So whatever you apply is just going to evaporate. So you need to lock that in with some fake barrier, an occlusive, for just a little bit. You don't need to do this forever, every day, but just enough time to allow your actual skin barrier to restore, to strengthen. That way you don't need to use the occlusive anymore, right? A lot of people use an occlusive type of product to slug, right? Slugging was a real big thing, I feel like, a few years ago. A lot of people still do it, and they do that with an occlusive. We have one, actually. It's called Hydra Balm, which is so lovely. It doesn't have a scent at all. Sometimes the smells of those occlusives bother me, and it's really lightweight, and it's super hydrating. So it's that rich texture, but still lightweight. Doesn't feel like you're suffocating. Really lovely to apply to the lips, the hands, and then on top of the skincare routine after even moisturizer, to help create that fake barrier. And we'll talk about that more when we get into layering. But just a few things you want to look out for in your current routine. Do you have it? If you don't, okay, we need to include it right away. So humectants, emollients, and occlusives, 3 things to really help lock, seal, and hold on to that hydration in the skin to prevent all of these winter skin woes. Now, when we talk about building a winter regimen, or as we like to call it, a winter wardrobe, I don't want you to feel like you need to overhaul your entire routine. It's not about having an overwhelming amount of products, but rather carefully, again, looking at your products that you do have and selecting essential ingredients that work together, like we just talked about, those humectants, emollients, and occlusives, to help address your unique concerns and maintain that balanced complexion and hydrated, radiant glow throughout the winter. Now, just as you curate a wardrobe of clothing, you have a different wardrobe for the summer than you do for the winter. You bring out those sweaters, you put away the tank tops. Kind of the same thing with your skincare routine, but it's all about customization. So I want you to feel like, pay attention to your skin type, your skin needs, what it can tolerate, what it's going through right now, and then decide what you need to include and change around based on that. Again, we're here to help you customize that. So let's go ahead and dive into the essential building blocks. We're going to go through the entire routine, of course, give you example regimens at the end, and then answer any questions. So let's start with cleansers. Cleansers are truly the foundation of your skincare routine, right? It's the bookend and of everything. It holds everything together. So during the winter, our natural oils, as we talked about earlier, are depleted, making it more susceptible to dryness. So we want to maybe avoid some of the harsher cleansers or oil absorbing cleansers and choose cleansers that are a little bit more gentle, hydrating, that are not going to strip the skin. Some extra tips when you're cleansing to remember is avoid cleansing with hot water. This again can dehydrate the skin further and damage and weaken the barrier. You also want to make sure that you're rinsing skin thoroughly and patting dry with a clean, soft towel. We really want to avoid rubbing the skin really harshly, and we want to make sure that what we're using is clean every time. I like to just get like 7 washcloths and then I'll wash them on a Sunday. And then I have 7 fresh new ones to take me through the week. So totally up to you how you want to do that. And then again, follow immediately with your skincare routine. So once you cleanse, you want to immediately go into your routine. You don't want to leave the skin bare for too long after cleansing, especially when our skin is going through it. And then lastly, I want to remind all of you to cleanse for at least 60 seconds to really make sure you're getting the most out of your cleanser and removing any debris, makeup, sunscreen, things like that, to really have the rest of your routine absorb as optimally as possible. Now, after cleansing, we want to make sure that we follow the routine with ingredients and products that are going to be suitable for our skin. But I want to give you guys, before we dive into the rest of it, I want to give you guys options for cleansers, right? I know that we have a lot of cleansers at SkinCeuticals. So just really quickly, these are 4 cleansing options that are my favorite to recommend to patients and to customers during the wintertime. And so I separated them into 2 categories. So if you are dry and reactive, so sensitive, sensitized, you're experiencing redness, maybe some irritation, itchiness, discomfort, then you want to choose either gentle cleanser or soothing cleanser. Both of these are going to be really great to help deeply cleanse the skin, but also replenish moisture and support the skin barrier, really comforting the skin and reducing irritation. So if you're reactive, you want to choose one of these 2. And I love them both. They're so yummy. And then if you are like, dry, but I'm not really like irritated or red or sensitized at all, I want to have some impact with my visible signs of aging and dullness, then you can choose either replenishing cleanser or glycolic renewal cleanser. These 2 are fabulous for anti-aging. I love replenishing cream cleanser. It's like this cream that turns into this like frothy, luscious, almost like foamy milk. And it smells really good. It transports me to a spa. It's one of my favorite cleansers. And it has ceramides in it to help really replenish hydration in the skin, and glycerin. Remember that humectant that's really good to help attract and bind water. So we see that ingredient there. And then you have glycolic renewal cleanser, which is fabulous for exfoliating and brightening and addressing fine lines and wrinkles with glycolic acid. Glycolic acid, I don't want you to be afraid of it during the winter, because it's actually also going to help to absorb and retain water. So really good acid to help brighten without stripping the skin. So beautiful products here that you can reach for to cleanse during the winter. So next, we want to go into the next category of skincare, which would be your toner or essence. Now, I get a lot of questions about toners versus essences and which is going to be the right product for a specific skin type or a time of year. It's a great step for addressing the needs of your skin type, your concerns, but they do focus on different things. So I want you to look at the chart that we have here, toners versus essences. The primary role of a toner is to prep and balance. The primary role of an essence is to treat and hydrate. Now, very different here. The textures are going to be slightly different. Toners tend to be more lightweight. Essences tend to be a little bit thicker and viscous. Toners tend to have fewer active ingredients, while essences might have more targeted benefits. And then application can sometimes be different. Toners you can apply with like a cotton pad sometimes, or hands, and then essences you can mist or gently, again, pat on the skin, which is really nice as well. But yeah, toners versus essences. I think in the wintertime, I would prefer an essence rather than a toner. Toners tend to kind of take away, remove excess cleanser, things like that, remove excess makeup, anything that was left behind. Usually they're exfoliating as well and active, while essences will push in and add to. You can use both. Lots of patients like to use both. So you could do your toner and then your essence. But I prefer just an essence in the wintertime. It's really that hydrating upgrade. Now, an option for essences. I love our phytocorrective essence mist. I actually have it here at my desk. I don't leave the house without it. I have one for my car. I have one for my purse. I have one in my bedroom. I have one in my office. It's like almost done here. It's my favorite product to use during the winter time. I don't use it all year round, but it's a true winter staple. It features, again, those humectants like glycerin and hyaluronic acids. You have both of those together to draw water into the skin and retain it. And then it has a botanical blend that helps to soothe and reduce redness. It instantly hydrates the skin by 69%. And I love to use it in my routine and then throughout throughout the day, like as a topical drink of water for my skin. You can use it over makeup. It's clinically proven to work even over makeup. It's going to give you instant hydration. So for something to instantly hydrate and then instantly reduce redness is huge, right? So this is really perfect for everyone, dry, dehydrated, and then if you have any of that irritation and redness, itchiness, that hurting skin, really good. And you can use it everywhere. I will put it on my hands. I will put it on like cracked, any cracked areas, my elbows, my feet. I'll put it all over my face, my eyes, my lips, my neck, everywhere. We even have one of our education team members. She likes to put it in her hair. She swears that it hydrates her hair. I'll believe it. I'll believe anything. So you can literally put it all over head to toe. And it really is that instant Band-Aid, that instant fix that you can reach for. So if you have an hydrating essence or a mist with hyaluronic acid, with glycerin, wonderful, utilize it more. If not, this is a great addition to just like not overhaul everything, but just add one thing in that can have major impact. So really lovely here. Now, next, we want to focus on our antioxidants, right? So we're going to cleanse, we're going to mist, and then we're going to apply an antioxidant. So vitamin C serums, antioxidant serums, they go on once daily in the morning because that's when we are facing environmental aggressors like pollution, like environmental stressors, like ozone, like all of that, that we face day to day, pollutants that we can't really escape, UV rays too. So we experience 365 days of environmental stress. Vitamin C serums, antioxidants are your skin's personal defense against that. Now, during the winter, we are experiencing increase in exposure to indoor pollutants, especially, right? Spending a lot of time indoors, fireplaces, heating systems, things like that add to our free radical load and really, really affect the skin and damage our skin cells. So the best antioxidants for wintertime are going to be vitamin C and vitamin E. Now, vitamin E is an antioxidant, but it's also a lipid. So really beautiful to help moisturize the skin, right? Moisturize that skin. It could be classified as an emollient. So again, you have that emollient ingredient and factor while also simultaneously protecting your skin from free radicals. So it's a 2-for-1 there. And then of course the sun is present all year round. Even when the sun is not shining and it's a gloomy day, we're still being exposed to UVA radiation, and UVA rays are the ones that are responsible for aging. So I like to say like UVA, UV aging. Those are the ones that we don't see or feel, but they cause the most damage to our skin cells. They accelerate visible signs of aging, like wrinkles, fine lines, discoloration, and so much more. So you want to make sure that you're applying your antioxidant every day to help protect against the free radicals produced by those UV rays, as well as those other environmental aggressors, right? Indoor and outdoor. So remember, apply once daily, every day in the morning. It's really going to help protect your skin barrier from further damage, and of course, improve visible signs of aging. So my SkinCeuticals pick for the wintertime is going to be CE Ferulic. Now, you know CE Ferulic if you know SkinCeuticals. Again, so this is something you're going to apply once daily every morning. This has that vitamin C and vitamin E and ferulic acid. So it's a synergistic triple antioxidant blend to help improve visible signs of aging. It's patented. It clinically corrects 8 signs of aging in the skin and helps the skin become stronger, 8 times stronger skin against environmental aggressors when you apply it every day. Now, to apply this, you only want to take like 3 to 4 drops into the palm of your hand. It's very thin, so I like to just work quickly with it, and then I'll massage it, and then I'll press it all over my skin, my neck, and then I'll kind of spread it like butter on toast. Anything left over, I'll put on my hands as well, and my fingers, and then I'll continue with the rest of my routine. If you feel like your skin is super reactive or sensitive to vitamin C serums and you haven't tried CE Ferulic is formulated for even sensitive skin, so you might be okay with this. However, if you already know, you're like, Corey, no, I've tried so many vitamin C serums, I'm super reactive, I'm super sensitive, I already know. Then we have another option for you, and it's called Serum 10, and that is a perfect antioxidant vitamin C serum for reactive skin. It doesn't have the vitamin E in it, but it still has vitamin C, which is perfect because you're still going to get that environmental protection. So CE Ferulic would be the best antioxidant for winter skin. After our antioxidant, we want to go ahead and focus on serums. So we're going to layer on the serums. Maybe you have one serum, maybe you have two, maybe you have three, four, or five. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of serums in a routine, and that's okay. You want to make sure that your serums are targeted for your specific concerns. So that could change in the winter and that can change in the summer. But important to know that they are targeted treatment boosters. And then during the winter time, you want to use serums that are going to help to add that hydration, that are going to help to repair the skin and give it the extra support that it needs during the winter time. So you may want to consider layering multiple serums to maximize benefits here. For example, if you're using PTOX and you love the way that it gives you glass skin and addresses expression lines and wrinkles, but you need hydration, then layer on HA intensifier multiglycan after, or any other hydrating serum with hyaluronic acid or humectants, right? So you can definitely layer, just make sure you're layering in order of thinnest to thickest in terms of consistency. That's a perfect rule of thumb, okay? And if you're unsure, ask us in the chat or use the widget, to ask, and Davina will answer those questions and have the perfect answer of how to layer your products. Now, the best recommendations that I have for you from SkinCeuticals are going to be the HA intensifier multiglycan and or phytocorrective gel. And I say and or because both of these are hydrating. They both have hyaluronic acid. They're both in our hyaluronic acid category, but they have additional ingredients to address different concerns. So let's start with the plump and hydrate category, which is going to be HA intensifier multiglycan. So it has 3 types of hyaluronic acid at different molecular weights to help improve hydration, deep hydration, but it does a couple of other things. So it supports hyaluronic acid production, it prevents the breakdown of hyaluronic acid production, and it stimulates hyaluronic acid as well as other skin plumping glycans, as we like to call them, which are basically skin plumping molecules that keep our skin looking nice and structured and plump and voluminous. So it stimulates those in the skin. It amplifies that percentage, that HA level by up to 30%, which is lovely. And it's really good for loss of volume. So if you are really focused on anti-aging, you're losing volume in your face, you're starting to notice those nasolabial folds, you're not as plump as you used to be, then the HA intensifier multiglycan is the best option for you. However, if you are more sensitive, reactive, redness prone, you have that itchy skin, that irritated skin, the red skin, the flare-ups, things like that, then phytocorrective gel is going to be a better option for you. It still has hyaluronic acid in it, but it also has additional botanical ingredients in it, just like the phytocorrective essence mist does. It has the same blend that helps to soothe and calm the skin, reduces the skin surface temperature immediately, which is really lovely, especially when you're feeling hot and maybe going through a flare up. Really good to bring that temperature down and then also strengthen the skin barrier. So if you're like, wait, Corey, I love these both, you can definitely use them both if you want to. Not necessary, however, because they both are going to hydrate. One is just going to work a little bit differently than the other for different concerns, right? So where do you lie? Which one are you? And then you can decide where to go from there. But they both have hyaluronic acid, which is that essential humectant to draw and bind water to the skin, which the skin desperately needs during the winter season. So that's it for serum, for hydration and correction. So we want to go ahead and move into our next category of products, which is going to be exfoliants. Now, I don't want you to be afraid of exfoliation during the winter time. It's really essential because it can help to improve dry skin in the winter, since the buildup of dead skin cells can really limit the absorption of hydrating ingredients. So we want to make sure we're exfoliating, but that we're exfoliating effectively, and exfoliating the way that our skin wants to be exfoliated. So the best way to exfoliate any time of year depends on your skin type and your skin's tolerance. So you want to make sure you pay attention to both of those. But basically, when we're exfoliating, what we're doing is we're enhancing skin cell turnover on the skin surface. It's really essential to removing excess skin cells and dead skin cells. That process of cell turnover elongates as we age. So we don't turn over our cells as quickly as we once did. Once we hit 28, I think we start to slow down significantly. So we're seeing a buildup of cells, not as much collagen is being produced, not as much elastin is being produced, and our skin's not looking as fresh and plump as it used to look, right? So we can help that along by exfoliating. And there are so many different ways to exfoliate. I'm going to help you figure out the right one for you for winter time. But just a few extra tips when it comes to exfoliation. Just make sure that we are avoiding over exfoliation, especially during the winter time, because again, that is going to impact our skin barrier. So if our skin barrier is already compromised, we may not want to exfoliate so harshly. We may want to start introducing exfoliants slowly, taking rest nights, taking a break night where we're not using anything, and letting our skin recover. And we also want to make sure the next morning after using an exfoliant in the evening, that we're cleansing the skin thoroughly. We don't want to leave that active on the skin and then go out and about in the sun and things like that. And that we are applying our full routine with our hydration, with our moisturizer, and ending with our sunscreen, right? Always, especially the next day, because we have that fresh skin. We want to protect it, apply that sunscreen, and avoid any potential discoloration or damage from exposing that fresh skin, right? So what are the best exfoliants for winter? I'm so glad you asked. I have a couple of options for you. We have retinol, we have cell cycle catalyst, we have our texturing activator. I would say choose one of these. However, I do have some people love to incorporate both cell cycle catalyst and retinol, but these are for like professional users. Like these are for the people that say, I use everything, my skin is so resilient, I need more exfoliation. Then I would say, okay, you could use multiple of these. But if you're like, nope, I need to just slowly exfoliate and maybe introduce it gently, then you're going to choose one. So I have them listed here in terms of intensity. So of course, retinol is going to be the most intense topical active and exfoliator. It is a derivative of vitamin A, and it helps to promote the skin's natural cell turnover, but it works in a different way than like a scrub would or glycolic acid, or even the way that retexturing activator works. It basically helps to stimulate new skin cells to be produced through fibroblasts in our skin. So it speeds that up, it activates that. So we're getting new skin cells being born basically, and they're pushing their way up to the surface. And by doing that, they're pushing off any surface skin cells as well. And they're pushing them off pretty aggressively. They're not gentle at all. So sometimes this can cause some discomfort, the retinol scaries, as we like to call them. So pay attention to the way that your skin is reacting to retinol. Always remember, use a pea-size amount only. Avoid sensitive areas like corners of the nose, the lips, the eyes, especially because they're super compromised during the winter. And then you want to just apply, I like to just dot it all over the larger parts of my face. So I'll take the pea-size amount, I'll massage it in my fingertips, dot, 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 and then I'll just, again, spread like butter on toast. You don't want to like massage it like a cream. You just want to get it in the skin and let it work its magic. So retinol would be a great option. We have 3 different strengths, and then our retinol formulas are formulated with a soothing complex to help minimize any potential irritation, which is really nice. Now, we also have Cell Cycle Catalyst, which is one of our newer products, and it works similarly to retinol, actually, in the fact the mechanism of action, what it's doing, it's not buffing the surface of the skin. It's really, it's helping to stimulate skin cell turnover with multiple different acids on the surface. So it's exfoliating the surface, and then it's also stimulating cell renewal in a similar way that retinol works. However, it doesn't require an adjustment period. It's actually formulated for all skin types, especially sensitive. And it also has an ingredient called taurine, which energizes our skin and supports our skin barrier. So this might be a great option for you to consider for the winter time. But you can also boost your retinol if you're already used to retinol by applying it first and then following with your retinol. That's totally an option too. But only if you've fully acclimated to retinol and you know your skin can handle, and you want something maybe a little oomph in your routine, you can combine them both. Now, lastly, if you have super sensitive, reactive skin, but you have that flakiness, you have dull skin, you want to exfoliate, but you're sensitive and reactive, then I would recommend Retexturing Activator as a gentle option. It's a perfect winter exfoliator because it does 2 things simultaneously. It hydrates and exfoliates super gently, perfect for twice daily use, perfect for sensitive skin, and you're going to get that glow, you're going to get that hydration, but also gentle sloughing of the surface of the skin that is very respectful of the skin barrier. So you have 3 options here. Now, I have a little pop quiz moment for you. I feel like enough time has passed, and I have a question for you all. Remember when we were talking about essences? essences versus toners. Now, I want to know if you guys remember what the role of an essence is in your skincare routine. What does an essence do? Does it prep and balance? Does it treat and hydrate? Does it remove excess debris? Pop quiz time. I'm going to wait a few more seconds to let those answers come in. I need music. Okay, yay. 81% of you passed the pop quiz. Treats and hydrates. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. You guys are smart cookies. I love it. Okay, moving on. So after exfoliants, we want to get into moisturizer. So moisturizing is a very important, especially during the winter time. All year round, we need to be using a moisturizer, but especially during the winter time. So proper hydration, it really is the cornerstone of a healthy routine and skin barrier. It plays a crucial role, again, as we talked earlier, about locking in hydration and preventing that transepidermal water loss. That's really going to help to prevent the water from evaporating and all the bad stuff from seeping into the cracks, right, of our skin barrier. Now, as a recap, I want to remind you that key ingredients to look for in a moisturizer are going to be those humectants, those emollients, and those occlusives. Now, glycerin, hyaluronic acid, ceramides, fatty acids, cholesterol, shea butter, jojoba oil, things like that. All of those are really beautiful to help support the compromised skin barrier. Now, I have the perfect option for winter skin for barrier support and restoration. That is just so beautiful for the winter time. Everybody needs this in their regimen, in their routine, and it's Triple Lipid Restore 242. Again, I have this in my office, in my bathroom. I gift it to everyone, and it like becomes their favorite cream. Intense hydration and skin barrier support. What you have in this formula is basically a skin barrier. You have ceramides, you have natural cholesterol, and you have fatty acids. Remember, this is making up that sealant of the skin barrier. So it really helps to restore that external barrier of the skin, instantly nourish the skin. It proves visible signs of aging, like skin smoothness, like laxity, like evenness, like radiance, like the appearance of pores, and so much more. And it is clinically proven to improve all of these. And then actually in an 8-week study with Triple Lipid Restore 242, after 1 week of use, it's shown to improve, in 1 week of use, not 8, in 1 week of use, it's shown to clinically improve the skin barrier resilience by up to 30%. So really beautiful for helping to restore that barrier while improving other visible signs of aging. And the texture, it's like a comforting hug for the skin. That's what it feels like, but it's like a silky, luxurious cream. It truly is a luxury type of texture, but so efficacious at the same time. So you're getting the best of both worlds here. Really lovely. Now we're going to move on to eyes and lips, which tend to be some of the most difficult areas to maintain hydration and address. That flakiness, the tightness, the itchiness, the cracked kind of texture of the skin is so tough. But moisturizing the delicate skin around the eyes and lips is critical and crucial. So if you're experiencing extreme changes in these areas, I want you to try to layer on multiple textures, right? So try applying a thinner, maybe hyaluronic acid serum, then you're applying your eye cream, and then you're applying the occlusive, and then maybe apply like a those eye masks, eyes or lip mask patches on top to help seal that in for a little bit and really boost and deliver that intense hydration in a short amount of time. So if you're experiencing dry, chapped lips, try that layering process where you're layering multiple types of humectants, emollients, and then that occlusive on top, and giving yourself almost like that flooding and layering of a cake, almost sealing that in, and that should make a huge difference. Do the same thing for your hands. So I do that a couple times a week at least. I'll do a hyaluronic acid serum, I'll apply an emollient-rich moisturizer, and then I'll put a thicker kind of almost like our Hydro Balm over it. You can again use Aquaphor, you can use mineral oil, you can use petrolatum, anything like that. Vaseline will work. put that on and seal it in, and that'll make a big difference. Bonus points if you put a glove on, really lock that in, and that should make a huge, huge impact on that dry, cracked skin. Same thing for the lips, same things for the eyes. Try that layering process to really combat that dryness. Next, we want to talk about sun protection, and we're nearing the end here, but sunscreen is super important because UV rays, like we talked about earlier, are present all year round. Now, winter activities are also going to increase sun exposure. If you ski, if you snowboard, things like that, we're definitely still experiencing the sun rays. So we want to make sure that we're protecting our skin. And we want to make sure that we are protecting our skin barrier by supporting and protecting our skin with broad spectrum UV protection. Now, the type of sunscreen you reach for might be a little different. So let's get into some sunscreen options. We want to try a sunscreen formula with additional ingredients that are hydrating, that maybe support what our skin is going through the wintertime and seasonal changes. And we can do that with specific formulas. Now, you may have a sunscreen that you know and love. Fantastic if you do. But if you're still looking for one that you maybe want to find like your holy grail sunscreen, these might be options for you. So let's just run through them really quickly. Number one would be Clear Daily Soothing UV Defense. This is going to be best for anybody that is reactive, redness prone, sensitive, flaring up, things like that. Even acne prone skin does really well with this. It has a soothing tripeptide to reduce visible redness of the skin and calm and soothe. It has glycerin, remember that humectant, to hydrate. And then it also has a blend of organic and your organic and mineral filters for an SPF of 50. So really beautiful, transparent finish as well. Feels really lovely on the skin. And then we have Daily Brightening UV Defense, which is more for somebody looking to instantly glow. I love this texture and I love the finish. It's almost like a lit from within glow. It's the perfect primer for makeup. It gives you a luminous look without looking glittery, and that's really hard to do. It's not greasy, it's not glittery. It's like this luxurious, like luminous finish that you get that kind of evens the skin tone a little bit. It also has brightening ingredients like niacinamide and tranexamic acid to brighten discoloration. So if you have uneven skin tone or blotchiness, this might be the best option for you. It also has glycerin. So they both have glycerin at 7% to draw and retain moisture. And this could be a hybrid moisturizer and sunscreen. So if you're like, Corey, I have my hydrating serums, I have my mist. I don't know if I need a moisturizer for the morning time, but a moisturizing sunscreen might be that product for you to eliminate a morning moisturizer if you don't need it and go straight into a moisturizing sunscreen with those additional benefits. So 2 great options here for UV protection and hydration at the same time. So love these 2. Now let's get into some regimens, and then we'll get into some questions. So let's see, anti-aging morning skincare regimen. I know regimens and recommendations are always like top questions that we get here at SkinCeuticals. So I have a list of products here for you, kind of a little cheat sheet. So this is just, again, you can plug and play the different products we talked about today to customize something that's best for your skin type and what you're going through. It's totally customizable. And that's the fun part, is figuring out what's going to be best for you and then what you can swap, right? So I love Replenishing Cleanser. This is just for general anti-aging, dryness, dehydration. Replenishing Cleanser, then Phytocorrective Essence Mist, CE Ferulic, of course, because it's morning, HA Intensifier Multi-Glycan for that hydration and plumping. Then you're going to moisturize with your Triple Lipid Restore 242. Then you're going to go into your sunscreen. I love Daily Brightening UV Defense for just general anti-aging and brightening of the skin. So cheat sheet for anti-aging winter. Now we're going to go into the nighttime routine and what this could look like. Just an example. Number 1, you're going to cleanse again with Replenishing Cleanser. That's a tongue twister. Then you're going to mist with Phytocorrective Essence Mist. Then you're going to go into retinol. Remember, a pea-size amount for the full face. You may not use this every night. You can give your skin some rest nights. Then you would go into HA Intensifier Multi-Glycan to plump, hydrate, and volumize. And then you're going to end with Triple Lipid Restore 242. Now, lovely routine here. Again, you can mix, you can match, you can swap, you can take rest nights, different things like that. And then, of course, for eyes and lips, I love to recommend our Antioxidant Lip Repair for lip, and then our AGE Advanced Eye for eye cream. So lovely little cheat sheet there. If you want to write anything down, I'll give you a few seconds. But beautiful products here. Now, I want to give you guys a reminder of layering. So layering 101, you might want to take a pen out again, maybe screenshot this and save it for later, write it down, put it in your notes app. But layering 101, biggest question that we get at SkinCeuticals, how do I layer my products, right? So this is just in general as well, not just according to SkinCeuticals. This is for everything, right? You can use other products as SkinCeuticals. You don't have to just use all SkinCeuticals. We play well in the sandbox with every other skincare brand out there, but layering is generally going to be the same. So you're going to start with a cleanser. Then you're going to go into your toner or essence, or both, up to you, right? Then you're going to apply your antioxidant. Then you're going to apply your serums in order of thinnest to thickest. Then your eye cream. Then your moisturizer. And then your sunscreen if it's daytime, right? So there you go. That's your, I'll give you a second to write it down or screenshot or do whatever you want to do with this. Happy to put it in the chat as well if you need a reminder. Okay, and to wrap it up, I have some pro tips for all of you to remember, just some extra little tidbits that are very helpful for myself and for everyone else that I kind of consult with and give recommendations to. Maybe try a mask 1 to 3 times a week. Look for a formula with any of the ingredients that we highlighted today. You can layer on a sheet mask on top of that, gel or cream or whatever you're using to provide that extra support. Apply that mask to the hands and then cover with gloves to give you that extra support as well. So really helpful there to do that layering process of hydrating ingredients and then create that fake skin barrier with something, either a mask or a glove or, you know, whatever you have to kind of seal that in for a short period of time. Next, again, skin flooding, which we talked about a lot today. Multiple layers of lightweight hydration for a plump and juicy look. Try this technique again for the eyes and lips. Add in a few more products there. Spike your water. This is huge. Make sure that we're drinking enough water because hydration starts from the inside out. Add electrolytes to that water, maybe. Add hydrating ingredients. Boost that hydration in the skin internally. Of course, a balanced and healthy diet as well. Support your head to toe hydration. Maybe try a humidifier in the room. Swap some of your body cleansers and shampoos. Like both of these things have a huge impact as well. Maybe switch to something with glycerin in a body wash. I love glycerin in body wash products, and there's so many on the market. You can just do a quick Google or ask our lovely team at LovelySkin. They can give you some recommendations on hydrating body washes, as well as your cleansers. Maybe your scalp cleansers or a scalp treatment. You introduce a scalp oil or a serum, something to help fight that dry skin on the scalp and the dandruff, because this is skin too, right? Our scalp is skin too. So switching out some, maybe not using a detoxifying shampoo or a cleansing or stripping shampoo and using something a little bit more hydrating will make a big difference for you. And then of course, trying slugging with a occlusive of some sort, either our Hydro Balm, an Aquifer product, Vaseline, things like that to lock everything in and give you that little fake skin barrier for a little bit of time. And I think that's it. I think it's time for questions. This was so much fun. I hope that you learned a lot. Let me X out of this presentation here. We can open up the floor for any questions. I would love to answer those for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Corey. We do have a few questions that came in. Let me open up my file here. Let's see here. I want to address Karen's question first because it just came in and it's a very good question. Does the phytocorrective gel and Phyto A Plus reduce redness after a CO2 laser? It sounds like she's about 4 weeks post-care right now.
Yeah, you can, which product? I'm sorry, one more time.
Yep, phytocorrective gel or Phyto A Plus.
Okay, so yes, you can use phytocorrective gel to help with the redness. A CE ferulic actually is going to be the best formula to help speed up healing and to amplify, boost, and maintain your results. We've actually tested CE ferulic with laser, and it's wonderful. But as usual, always discuss with the provider that did your treatment and run that by them. But yes, CE ferulic is one of our favorite products to pair with non-ablative lasers and ablative lasers. So really beautiful for that.
Awesome. Lorraine had some questions about niacinamide and wondered if you could just talk a little bit about what niacinamide is and what it does and how SkinC uses it and maybe in what products they use it in.
Yes, so niacinamide is actually vitamin B3. It's a vitamin, and what it does is it actually works in a couple of different ways to help support the skin barrier. It helps to regulate oil production. It does everything. It minimizes the appearance of pores, targets uneven skin tone. Really beautiful for a plethora of skin issues because that essential vitamin really has an influence on so many reactions and processes in the skin. So that vitamin B3 is really beautiful for evening the skin tone, brightening, reducing visible redness, blotchiness, and then of course helping with the skin barrier. So we utilize it in a lot of our brightening products. You'll see it in Metacell Renewal B3, really beautiful for addressing blotchiness and uneven skin tone, photo aging or sun damage. Also, we use it in the Daily Brightening UV Defense. And then again, that helps to brighten instantly and over time. And then you'll also see it in our Discoloration Defense, which is a serum for different types of discoloration in the skin. So really beautiful ingredient to help with turnover and regulation of the skin.
Sharon would like to know where to place resveratrol in her regimen.
Great question. So resveratrol BE is an antioxidant. So it would go on after cleansing and toning and essence. If you do those steps, always start with your antioxidant. In the morning, that would be your vitamin C serum. And then at nighttime, that would be a night antioxidant like resveratrol BE. If you're using another brand and you're unsure, usually on the label, it'll tell you if this is a morning product or a night product, and then when to put it in the routine. But yeah, typically always first after your cleansing and toning essence.
Okay. Brenda's question is one we get all the time. Very common question. I'm using SkinCeuticals neck, so the neck retinol cream. Should this be followed with another product?
Tripeptide R neck repair. Okay, well, tripeptide R neck repair also has humectants in it. So it is going to hydrate the skin. It's got that beautiful creamy texture. You have the retinol, but you also have a tripeptide complex for the elasticity and tightening of the skin. And then you have hydration in it too. So you don't need another product to put on top of it. However, there are a lot of our customers and patients that we treat that like to layer Triple Lipid Restore 242 on top for many reasons. Number one, because it helps with supporting that skin barrier. And the skin on our neck is very thin, actually. It's like the skin around our eyes, so thin. So it tends to be a little bit more sensitive to retinol products, even though tripeptide R neck repair is already so low dose retinol, you might need an additional support. So always recommend trying to take Triple Lipid Restore 242 down to the neck. Plus it's going to help with the radiance and the evenness and all of that. One more thing is that this Triple Lipid Restore 242 is also clinically proven to shorten the adjustment period of skin to retinol by up to 1 week. So if you're like me and you're impatient and you just want to go all the way, then I would say this is your jam.
Great. Mary would like to know if she should use PTOX and HA intensifier multiglycan together, and if so, in what order of operations?
Great question. One of the top 5 questions now that we get at SkinCeuticals every day. So yes, you can use PTOX and HA intensifier multiglycan together. We actually call this the power pair. PTOX is going to address surface expression and contraction wrinkles from repetitive muscle movements that we do in our face every day, 9 types of them. And then the glass skin radiance. So it's more surface level. And then HA intensifier multiglycan is deeper, the plumpness, the volume, the structural integrity of the skin. So it's almost like a cake. You look at your skin as a cake. The spongy part is the cushion. The frosting is that top layer. You need both to be nice and juicy for everything to look beautiful. So PTOX first, then HA intensifier multiglycan twice daily to address volume and then surface fine lines and wrinkles too.
We get a lot of questions here at LovelySkin into our customer service department, this specific question, and somebody else asked it as well. But if you could just highlight the differences between the old HA intensifier formula and the new and improved.
Yeah.
We just have a couple of questions about that.
Absolutely. So the older generation formula launched in 2008, I believe. I might be off by a few years, so don't quote me. But it had been around for a while. And as we know, like technology with our phone, as we were even talking about earlier today, Chrissy, like our computers, the technology is always updating, right? There's always new things. So same thing with skincare and our formulas, and we're always trying to innovate and give all of you the latest and greatest when it comes to technology and skincare and efficacy and results. So there were newer ingredients that we could add to this product. So we have a postbiotic ferment that we've added. We've also added higher concentrations of the key active ingredient proxylane, and then a new acetyl hyaluronic acid, which is basically a fragmented type of hyaluronic acid, new technology to even absorb deeper and provide that deeper hydration. So we're now going to see better results faster. And not only are we amplifying hyaluronic acid content, but we're also now, with this new formula, amplifying other glycans in the skin that are responsible for structural integrity. So really quickly, glycosaminoglycans or glycans are a category of molecules in the skin that give it that plumpness, that volume, that structure. Hyaluronic acid is the most abundant glycan in the skin, but there's other ones too that we don't always address. So the new and improved formula addresses hyaluronic acid and all of the other glycans that give us volume. So that's why we say it's now going to give you multidimensional volume, not just hyaluronic acid, but the other glycans too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That was all the questions. You answered them. So fantastic. A plus. A plus.
Yes. And I know I've seen a lot of questions pop up about using other products with SkinCeuticals. Mm-hmm. Again, we play well with other products. So just make sure, follow the rule of thumb of thinnest to thickest in terms of consistency with your products. And then the second rule of thumb would be antioxidant always first, and then apply the rest of your targeted serums from that order of thinnest to thickest, and you should be good to go.
So before we close, I want to let everyone know that if they have any additional questions about SkinCeuticals or anything that Corey addressed today, you can contact our customer care department at customercare@lovelyskin.com. Additionally, I want to say thank you so much, Corey, for taking the time to spend with us today and educate us a little bit more on how we can help our skin out during the winter and just, give our skincare regimen a little boost. And I also just want to say happy holidays, and I hope you enjoy this season.
Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you next year.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.